and my name is Aramis, and I stink because I've been doing yard work all morning. But I'm here. You got JT and you got Jordan up top today. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Not too
We're
bad.
here.
Cool. Well, today y'all know the subject. We talking about our least favorite anime. And if y'all don't mind, let me be the first to get this off my chest. If you don't mind. Because I had to think about it. I was like, what anime do I really don't like? And y'all know which one I'm gonna hit on. It's the obvious one. I can't stand One Piece. I don't care what nobody say. I don't care what nobody say. I can't stand no damn One Piece. I'm gonna say the N word, but I have to stop myself. But I can't stand. No, can't do One Piece. One Piece is my least favorite one.
That's your least favorite that you've ever watched?
My least favorite anime. You heard what I said, Jordan.
That's strong. That's
I
strong.
don't care. I don't. Right now, as I venture and find my niche in the animes that I love and I like and I dislike, because for 1,000+ episodes, to me, it wasn't all that good. If we not looking at the show in its entirety like these damn One Piece enthusiasts or vagina riding, dick riders like to talk about, oh, it's in its entirety.
Oh, why did you flip yourself?
I don't know. That's what I was looking at too. He flipped himself. Why you flipped yourself? There you go.
Oh, I turned up the lights in my house. Sorry, I didn't even realize. I don't know. You keep
thought you were
going. Don't
doing
worry
a
about what I'm doing. Nope.
But yeah.
Continue
Okay.
your unfounded hate.
Okay. But yeah, I'm sick of this. It ain't, to me, for me personally, it didn't get good until it was good. It was okay up until they got to Big Moms. Well, know what? Nah, because what's that place they went to when they got beat, when they got back slapped, bitch slapped into all across the doggone world into the different, what was that one island?
Oh, during the 2-year time skip?
Yeah, the 2
No,
years.
before that, he's talking about the Sabaody archipelago.
No, that's what I'm talking about when the time skip before
When they got
the time
separated,
skip.
right?
Yeah, when they got
Yeah,
separated.
but it happened. But yeah, it happened in the Sabaody archipelago.
Whatever that is, it got really good around that time. Yeah. When Luffy, was doing his thing, and when they went to what's the place where all the Marines stationed at, and Whitebeard died and all that stuff, and Ace had me crying because he sacrificed himself for Luffy, and all that stuff. When it got good around that time, and it just. But if we break down that show by its freaking what's called? I just said it.
Chapters.
Arcs.
Arcs.
If we break it down by arcs, they don't stand a chance. Majority of the doggone arcs don't stand a chance against a lot of the other shows. I respect everybody who likes to ride on that vagina. That's your vagina to ride on, or your thing to, whatever. But if you break down it arc by arc, it's not all that good. But because it takes 1,000+ episodes or 900+ episodes to really capture somebody's attention. Well, let's be realistic. Come on. It really does. It takes a long time. But that's my opinion about the show. I heard it's gotten a lot better from from the 2-year time skip, from prior to the 2-year time skip on forward. But, because I just couldn't do it no more. It takes so long. I fall asleep too often looking at anime as it is. And that's one show I would fall asleep and wake up like 100 episodes later and be like, what the hell did I miss?
I'll come to lunch with you today. Keep going, guys.
It's one of those, like, when I spoke to you about it when you first was like, you're starting to not like it. I was like, One Piece started in the 90s and kept their 90s like style. So it's like, hey, it kept the whole everything's gonna be a slow burn. And I think that's one of their issues because like people talk about, pacing of the show. And it was like, no, in the 90s, pacing was a little slower, and everything pacing was a little slower. For one, it took more to animate stuff, so pacing's gonna be slower. But like the fact that they never, people can even say now that they're getting better at pacing, but I would say they just now started getting better about pacing towards like Wano and the end of Wano. So like people are like, yeah, it's too long of a show. I actually agree, because I was like, there are stuff where it's like, this did not need to be that long. The Katakuri fight should not have been that long. The fucking Gecko Moria fight probably shouldn't have been as long as it was. Him being in Impel Down shouldn't have been long. I was like, every arc is probably a little too long in that show.
Long Island is stupid as arc. Like, for real.
And it's one of those things where it's like, once you, like that show, like people, the amount of hate that people give to the Bout arc for Bleach, people give the same amount of hate to like Skypiea or Long Island. And people will be like, and people will do that, the same thing with Thriller Bark. And it's like, okay, so the Bout arc, we're okay with people hating that. You can hate that arc and just continue to love Bleach. But once you say, no, I love Bleach, but I did not like Thriller Bark, I did not like Skypiea, I didn't like Long, I don't care about any of the fucking Davy Back fight. Every time that guy showed up, I was tuned out. So it was like, and people would be like, nah, you gotta love all of One Piece. It's like, oh, I don't. Like, some of it was shit. Like, now it being the most hated, it's because my brain likes to be stupid with watching anime. So a lot of times when I start something, I like kind of have to finish it. Mm-hmm. I've got plenty of stuff that's way worse than that. So for me, I was like, it's nowhere near close to being my worst.
Yeah.
Like even their worst arcs aren't as bad as some of the shit that I've watched. So and shit that's like, if it comes back, unfortunately, my brain's gonna be like, hey, like, you know, it's got a season 2 now, right? You should probably go watch that. I don't want to.
All right, Jetty, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I have like 2 least favorites. I mean, I can't stand Boruto. Y'all know that. Like, no, just because it's so full of filler and everything like that. Like, I didn't like it where they started it in the first place. Like after the movie came out, and it took so long for everything to like unfold and all that stuff. Like it wasn't conducive for my viewing. And then my one that I really can't stand watching, I can't stand Sailor Moon.
Whoa.
I hate that anime so much. And everyone's just like, well, she's like the strongest in anime, you know, you have to give it to her and stuff. It's like, no, I don't.
I mean, that's also like a genre issue for me, though. I haven't watched Sailor Moon, but that's just because I don't like the magical girl genre. So
I guess that's maybe one of the reasons I don't like it either. But like everyone, there are so many people that like love that, and they're like, "Well, you have to give like you at least if you don't like it, you have to at least like give it its praise for what it was." And I was like, "I don't, I don't, I really don't."
It's like, yeah, I respect you as for what you are. I like the fact that you have a huge fan base. I like, but I don't have to give you super duper like props for what you were. I didn't watch it. Like, if that was the case, like middle school, Inuyasha was technically the best anime ever. If that's the case, because people loved Inuyasha when I was in middle school. So
it still is the best anime ever. Understand?
The fact that people always bring up the fact that like Kagome, but I mean that's another one that's like iffy for me. But Inuyasha.
Oh.
I think he thought we were talking about Yu Yu Hakusho.
Maybe.
No, I said Inuyasha. I heard, yeah.
Okay. And the one that I can't really stand about Sailor Moon is that everyone's just like, well, technically she's like the strongest character in all of anime, and it's like, well, like you have to put an asterisk next to it because she has to like merge with everybody else and like all this other stuff. So like, I guess like technically she is, but I'm not gonna call her that.
I feel
No, I think she is. They don't do any merging or anything at the end of that. She just gets extra fucking powerful.
Oh, is that what it is? I thought she like merged with the other.
Ridiculous. Like the others are Sailor Scouts and she's Sailor Moon. Like it's a different.
Totally, it's a different thing.
It's Red Ranger to the nth degree. Like you know, how every Power Ranger season, their Red Ranger goes off and just kind of does shit to get stronger by himself. She did that like 90% of the show apparently, so she was just better than them.
Lord.
You over there dying?
I did like Black Mask though. I thought Black Mask was kind of cool.
You need Tuxedo Mask.
You know,
Tuxedo
what was his name?
Mask.
Tuxedo Mask. My bad. See, I don't even know what his name is, but he was kind of cool.
Whew.
You good?
I hope so.
Man, I'm gonna die on camera.
Lord.
It's gonna be a real long video because ain't nobody gonna be able to stop it.
No one has Jesse's number, so.
She'll come out there eventually and check on him.
Y'all been
She ain't never gonna check on him.
2 days later, where's Aramis at?
I been calling 911 tell him my address. So he in the back room. His wife don't know. He in the back room. Anyway.
It's fine. Aramis, if you die on camera, I'll make the drive out there.
Jordan?
So I've got a couple. The first one I'm gonna go out. It's called Conception, and it's a quick little 12-episode one, and it just the premise of it. Dude,
Hey guys, I gotta go.
You said you gotta go.
Yeah. Something happened immediately.
Hold up.
So the worst one that I think I've watched, and I think in comparison, I'm mainly going story wise. Most of the stuff I watch looks good and has good like fights and whatnot, but certain shit just has bad stories. So Conception was the one that I was talking about. The story that they had for that was like it was like they kind of wanted to be like ecchi, but also it was just like weird. It was more weird than it was ecchi, so it was like you just turned out bad. And then like their overarching story felt rushed at the end of a 12-episode thing. So it was like you just ended up not being good kind of start to finish. It was like whatever mark it was trying to hit, it just never did. Because the story was one dude went somewhere else. He was supposed to be like their chosen one or whatever. But in that, his chosen one was basically they were saying his children were supposed to save the world. And when they met his children, they had like 7 or 8 like different girls who were supposed to have his children, and they were supposed to conceive these warrior children or whatever. Mm-hmm. And by conceive, he basically just needed to show a little bit of emotion, and they were supposed to connect a little bit. And then, boom, not even a minute later, a random fucking sprite child would appear, and they would be super powerful. And he had to do this with like 7 different people, and these 7 kids were supposed to save the world at the end of the day. And it was done so poorly that it was like every mark that you were trying to hit with this show did not hit it. Because there was barely any fights leading up to the end, so then in their finale it felt like they tried to be like as over the top as they could with this fight and give you like a grand finale, but it was all just like overshadowed by how bad the story of it was. So it was like had a giant epic like 2-episode fight at the end, but it wasn't enough of a payoff for the bullshit you just watched for 10 episodes. Mm-hmm. So it just ended up sucking all together.
Is that the only one you got, or do you have more?
Other than that, I feel like a lot of people really liked Vampire Knight. I don't know if y'all ever saw Vampire Knight.
Is that the one with the brother and sister are like the elite vampires, and they have to like get together at the end?
Yes.
That's weird. That's a weird ass anime, dude.
It very much was. And until they introduced that, bless you. Until they introduced that, it was set up to where it's like, no, you have a premise that might be really cool.
Right. And then they brought incest into it, and I was like, I can't even finish this anime now.
Because they were hyping up so much how much she liked him, but also like she kind of liked her partner and like the student council or whatever. And that dude got kind of OP in and of himself. Because he was like,
yeah, but he became a ghoul then. Then he became a ghoul, which also threw me off. I was like, really? This is how
something weird, and then he was like, just had a gun, and it was just like, hey, y'all had a normal ass school, allegedly. Why does that kid have a gun? And we're all okay with it. And they're like, okay, night schools for vampires, day schools for humans, and we keep them apart. And it's just like, how about you just don't have a school that lets both go here? Like, that makes more sense than anything. And then her not having a memory of like her childhood, but him being like, no, that's my little sister. And not only am I trying to protect her just because she's my little sister, I'm protecting her because I have to keep the bloodline pure because that's going to be my future wife. And it's like, this is all just fucking weird now.
That's that Arkansas type of shit. Stuff. I'm talking about Arkansas. I miss stuff.
Listen, Arkansas retired like Matt Ryan, all right? We can stop talking about them. But yeah, it was like, as soon as they introduced that, I was like, all right, now that guy who actually just hates vampires and was like, I'm so ready to shoot all of y'all, I'm now on his side. Because this ain't, before I was like, hey, bro, they're not doing anything wrong. You know, you can kill the bad vampires. These ones are just trying to go to school. And then it's like, oh no, y'all are actually fucking weird. All of y'all are weird and y'all are okay with this. All right, fucking get rid of all of them. But
it was a strange anime, man.
But again, one of those fights was good, artwork was good. Their power-ups were good. It was just story waffled so much that it was like
I did think it was really cool that like because he was an elite vampire, he could like control the other vampires and stuff like that just by phrases and shit, and he had like better powers and whatnot, and like he could make other vampires stronger with his blood and shit. I thought that was cool. And then I'm like, but you're hot for your sister. That's where you lose me.
I feel like they piggybacked on what everybody was hoping to get out of Noblesse. And Noblesse was good. Was just start to finish good. I don't know if they still plan on making more, but Noblesse had like a 2-episode teaser in like 2003. And then everybody was like, where's the rest of that? And they're like, we're not doing it. And then in like 2017 or something like that, they're like, all right, here's the whole first season of Noblesse. And I was like, you wasn't going to advertise or nothing? Okay, cool. And then
put it out.
And then they were like, yeah, will be more on the way. And to the best of my knowledge, there's not going to be more on the way anytime soon. So, you know, we had to wait like 15 years the first time. So in 2032, we'll get more Noblesse, you know. And I'm here for it because I will watch it. Noblesse is really good. I'm debating just fucking reading it.
Man, there's no, I can't remember what the name of the anime is. You might actually know the name of it, Brody. But the story is pretty decent until the end. It's about a sorcerer who they think they're waiting for a sorcerer to reincarnate, and they think that it's this girl who is pretending to be a boy in the school so that she can go to this school. And her cousin is like doesn't have any magic, so she gives him like a seal on his face so that he can see spirits and stuff like that. And then they train together and stuff. And then at the ending, you come to find out that like he is the actual reincarnation, not her, and that he loves her and stuff. It's another weird one. I think it's Tokyo Ravens, I think is what it's called.
Oh, I know. I've heard of Tokyo Ravens. I have not watched it. I think
I made Sam watch it. And so like the whole premise is really, really good until like the last 3 episodes, and you're like, all right, now we're into incest and stuff like that. Now you've made it weird.
You're getting too far to the left here.
Right. Well, they're also so he's got like a familiar who's a cat girl, and she's like this little cat girl who's like 6 years old, and they make like innuendos throughout the whole anime about like them two doing stuff together and whatnot. And I'm like, God, that like there's no need for this. This girl is like 6 and little.
But
like,
she's a cat girl though.
Yeah, but then at the end. But then at the end of the anime, whenever he like awakens, she also awakens with him, and she grows up. And then at that point, you're like, oh, I understand now why they were doing this through the whole anime. now you've made it even more weird.
Yeah, and I mean that's a trope that a lot of animes do, and I was like, it's super weird. Like, there's so much stuff where people will get like reincarnated and you have to see them grow up as a child. And I'm like, I'd prefer you time skip them to being older instead of making them this OP child who has a bunch of different like grown ass adults in love with them. Like that was
the one thing that I didn't. That's the one thing that I didn't really like about the jobless reincarnation. I was like, technically, this is like a 45-year-old man. Yes, he's in a child's body, but he is a 45-year-old man. Like doing things with these like 16-year-old girls.
And they're like, oh no, it's fine. They grew up together. And it's like, no, I can understand why
make it any better.
Like I understand why they in that world think it's fine, but like us over on this side of the screen are like, that's weird. And I'm like, listen, I'm gonna let shit fall where it falls, but at the same time, you as the author, I can still look at you and be like, hey, this was a weird thing for you to do.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you might want to go talk to a therapist or a couple of them.
They're like, hey, buddy, get your shit figured out because it's weird, and the fact that you think no one should call you out on it is part of the problem.
Well, that was the same thing with like Sword Art Online. That one story where that one part where it's like you find out his cousin's in love with him, and then she like falls out of love with him because she falls in love with his character in the game, and then you realize that it's the same person, and she's like, shit, I still love my cousin. And it's like, that's fucking weird.
Well, no, I think for Sword Art Online, they pushed the familial relationship too far because it was never, I don't think it was ever supposed to be as like sexual tension as we got. It was like, no, my cousin whose family died and started living with me basically as my brother fell into a 2-year coma. And then when he got back out, he was a little weird for it because 2-year coma where he was literally in a game living his life. And it's like, shit's just weird now. It's like, damn, I want my cousin back. And it's like, oh, wait, he seems more normal now that he's back in a game. Then you meet a dude who you're like, great. All the great shit that I missed about hanging out with my cousin are in this motherfucker. So you were like semi-infatuated, and then you found out it was your cousin. So then it's like, all right, well, now everything has to be rethought because now this is weird. And it was like, I feel like y'all leaned too heavy on it.
I agree with you, man. It was
on this side of the screen, we were like, this was weird start to finish.
Yeah, start to finish. I was like, that you made that really, really odd.
I was like, I don't think that's what y'all were going for, but that's what you got, and that's the problem.
Well, I feel like it was because if you look at like every other arc for Sword Art Online, like a girl falls in love with him. You know what I mean? That's kind of the trope for that anime. And like every season, a girl falls in love with him. You know what I mean?
And he had multiple girls fall in love with him every season.
That's what I'm saying. So like, and this was like,
met a girl in Sword Art Online, they liked that boy.
Yeah, they liked him exactly, and. Like I feel like that was the like she was into Elfheim Online and stuff like that. There wasn't a lot of other people that they could have leaned on, I guess, for that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like they're like, well, this is what we got. This is kind of what we're going with.
And it was like,
I feel
you. So it was like, yeah, it was a little, it was just weird.
Yeah, and I don't know about Japanese culture. I don't know if it's like more accepted over there or what, but either way, it's strange.
Yeah. And something that I feel like, again, not knowing their culture. I didn't grow up over there. I don't live over there. I ain't been over there.
Right.
So it's like, maybe they're all coming through. And they're like, no, that's pretty par for the course. Like,
And it's like, I mean, if you say so.
it's like that's not my place.
Right? It's like, listen, I'm not gonna kink shame you. I'm not gonna belittle your culture or anything like that. But that's
But
your culture. That's not mine.
I'm not gonna pretend like I'm okay with it.
Right? Oh, but there, I feel like there are a lot of like I feel like you can nitpick any anime and be like, well, I didn't like you were saying about One Piece and stuff like that. Like I don't like this arc and I don't like that arc and I don't like this about the anime and everything like that. Like,
No. I don't like it. Period. It's good, but it's good recently. It like recent.
well, no, I was
Like,
talking about what Brody said about One Piece.
oh, they're talking about me. I was just saying,
No, I was saying I was talking about what Brody said about One Piece. I'm not going to argue with you that like you have every right to not like One Piece and everything like that because that's your opinion. You know what I mean? Um, because there are parts of One Piece that I don't like. You know what I mean? Like
we talk about
I just
the bulk of One Piece,
yeah.
not
Well,
the
like the bulk. I mean, the bulk of One Piece I enjoy. I like the story. I like how whimsical it is and everything like that. I like how funny it is. The fights are amazing, you know, and I like that everything is connected. Like, I guess we're talking about the anime, but I do want to step into the manga a little bit. Like, he does panels in the front and back that gives you more story about people from the past and stuff like that. Like, you get little information about the dog and stuff, and like that the dog from like the whenever you met Buggy for the first time that was protecting the dog food
They call
island and
it
stuff like
SBS or
that.
something like that. Whatever he
Yeah,
calls it.
and you get more information about the guy with the windmill hat and stuff like that on Arlong Park and stuff, and you get more information about like the girl that helped raise Luffy, the one that was in the bar and stuff, from his island, and like the barbarians and stuff like that, the mountain bandits that help raise him and stuff like that. So that's what I wish they put a little bit of that in the anime every now and again, but I understand why they don't. It's already so
I
drawn out and
would,
so
I
long.
wish some of the stuff that they put in the anime they would pull and put it in that, because I was like, I feel like
Yeah,
they stretch it too long. I was like, that's a whole nother story. It's like, I understand your world building and you want to be like, hey, these people still exist. They're still doing shit. If they ain't gonna pull up to Wano, why the fuck do I care?
that's a valid point. Yeah,
Like,
it
I
is
just
already
don't
long
need.
enough.
And it's like I don't need to know about what the freaking
But
total fields are still doing. Like I don't.
yeah, but I was upset that like Oda did not put like he kind of did, but he didn't put Zoro's lineage in an episode or in a panel or anything like that. He did it in like an ODA in an OTA. And I was
Yeah,
kind of
that was the SBS's. Like he put it in one of those. He just put it in
exactly,
between.
and like I'm kind of upset about that. But now he is helping write a movie for Ryu and all of Zoro's family lineage. So I guess we're gonna get a movie for Zoro's family lineage. I'm not 100%. I think that's just speculation right now.
There's
But
supposed to be. I actually sent y'all a TikTok earlier today that they said that he's supposed to be writing a prequel for Zoro, with Zoro being the main character. So it's a prequel for before he joined the crew, what he was when he was becoming Pirate Hunter Zoro. He's supposed to be writing a whole spinoff for that.
yeah, because we got everyone else's backstory, like why they became who they became. Like we know why Zoro became who he became and everything like that. But like we got snippets of Nami and everything like that stealing stuff, and we know exactly why Usopp is the way he is. We saw Chopper growing up and everything like that, and then we literally got all of Sanji's life
Yeah,
in like 50 episodes.
I would say you got everybody start to finish except Zoro.
Except Zoro, exactly. So I'm glad they're doing a movie.
Well, all
But
right then. Well, let's go ahead and end this video because Lord knows this has been a very interesting. This is
it's been
gonna
an
be
interesting
my
day already.
not necessarily day. Last hour has been interesting. Hell, this thing is on 30 minutes. We ain't talking about the other 30 minutes that we didn't record that conspired. But I get why
We'll see what
Jordan.
happens.
I get why Jordan, because incest is that's a weird
It's
thing. That's a very
yeah,
weird thing, and
yeah.
I get why you don't like Boruto because a lot of people say what they want to say about Boruto, but even though I still think Boruto is still really good, regardless of how.
Brody, that anime that you said you didn't like, I've never seen it. I never even heard of it before. So I
Don't
got
go
nothing
out.
on him.
what?
That's how
would not
bad it is.
recommend.
Like I'm in the anime world. You know that. I go to conventions and everything like that. Like I check out what's new, what's hot and everything. Never heard of it. So that's how bad that anime is.
Buddy, I can go down the rabbit hole where there's some stuff that people probably ain't heard of. Like,
But yeah. So, but anyway, till next time. Peace.
some